Hey, so good to have you. I feel like I start every podcast. I'm like, so good to have you on, sis. But it is. It's so good to have you on. Today, I basically have my sister on the potty. No. Bibbies is a model, stylist, painter, sewer, creative, general icon, and somebody who I definitely look up to in a lot of realms. So I thought, why not get the Queen on to discuss a few things? And yeah, we'll take it away, really.
I'm really excited. Obviously, I'm a fan of the potty. And I think it's been like seeing you doing the podcast. It's been such a good way of you like expressing yourself as well.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
doing such interesting conversations with such beautiful people, and I'm so happy to be part of it.
Yay, Queen! So good. So I was wondering if you could tell the people what the last year of your life has looked like, so they can get a bit of an insight on where you came from and how big the shift has been since arriving to Australia.
I was living in Lisbon, where I'm from, where I was born, and very exciting life. And I lived there most of my life. Also lived a little bit in Europe, Barcelona, and yeah, I was really excited to come to Australia and explore. Like traveling, it's always been like a big thing for me, and especially meeting people around traveling, and if I can work as well. So I had this opportunity to come to Bali and then Australia for work. Meanwhile, I was obviously starting a relationship with my boyfriend right now, which obviously is Gel, Cap's brother. And yeah, and it's, Australia just seemed really like exciting, and everything made a lot of sense. And immediately since I moved here, I felt so connected with this place in so many ways. And yeah, I thought like, why not to stay here for a little bit. I started working with a modeling agency here, and it seemed to have been flowing so well.
So good. So good. And what was the process of moving from Portugal to Oz like emotionally?
Okay, being completely honest, I feel like I was really happy in Lisbon, and I'd never left Lisbon, Europe, like trying to like look for happiness. I feel like I had really good friendships, like a really good support system in Lisbon. But yeah, I think I was looking for a bit of freedom and a restart. And coming here, it felt like it was the perfect place to do that. Emotionally, I think it was hard in a way to leave, because if I had to make a choice, because I already had a lot of good things going on, and I could decide either to invest on what I had going on in Lisbon and continue with that, or just try to. I had like this intuition that told me like, let something else of you that you never explored, and I think this new chapter will open that window that will make you feel motivated to start something else. And honestly, for now, I can say that because things are going so well, I feel like that's a lot of true in that.
Yay. It seemed like you kind of just slipped right in and made Australia your home, and then you had friends, and then you bought a car, and then you were just like, just done so quickly. It was actually inspirational for me, because if I was to make a move, I think it'd shake me up quite a bit.
So I think I had this conversation with a girl here in Australia the other day. She came up to me and she said, "Wow, I'm so like, I don't know how you did it. Like you came to Australia and you just feel like you live here for so long."
Fully.
And she said, "Congratulations, because I think I could never do that." And she has a business, and I look at her, and on my end, I think she did so many things already that I could never do that yet. Like, it's so like impressive to me.
Yeah.
So I told her like, I feel like, for example, starting a business. She was born here, so she started a business from zero. Like, on the town that she grew up, there's so much like stigma.
Stigma?
Like, and it could be so stressful in my perspective, it feels really stressful.
Yeah.
So in my case, I needed to step away from my hometown and explore somewhere else. So it would click for me.
Yeah.
And so I honestly think it's really about like perspectives, because I feel like sometimes people want a little bit of what they don't have.
Yeah.
So she sees me traveling and doing something that for her feels so difficult. For me, that's the easy way of doing things. That's what naturally works for me.
Yeah. Oh, epic.
Yeah. So it really depends on perspective.
Yeah. Not the person.
Both valid, both so amazing.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It's just the person that you are then. Hey. Do you find yourself channeling Portuguese culture in your day-to-day in any way?
Yeah, and if I'm not, I try to do that.
Cool.
Because I feel like it's really something I'm proud of.
Yeah,
I think
good.
Portuguese are a bit like proud of who they are. Or like, for example, we make this joke that I am, as a Portuguese, I'm the only one who can say something bad about my country. But we always say something bad about our country. We're always like complaining about little things. But then if someone says something, we're like, what are you saying about my country? You can't mention that. So yeah, but like on a everyday, I really try to keep who I am. And I think obviously it's so influenced from where I was born. And what I'm interested of doing right now, it's basically grab everything that I was influenced by living in Lisbon, and even like related with clothing and visually everything that inspires me. I want to bring it here to Australia and make that grow.
Yeah.
I don't want to blend with what's already here.
Yeah.
And even little things like, for example, my accent. The other day, someone told me that I'm losing my Portuguese accent, and I laughed so much because I can't believe I'm already saying I reckon and I'm keen every day, which is such a big Australian expression.
Your Aussie you've been saying some full Aussie things.
That's so funny to me. But yeah, I hope I never lose my Portuguese.
You won't. You haven't lost yourself at all. What brings you the most joy in life?
I think throughout all my experiences, what made me the happiest is probably meet people and be social and create relationships with people that love the same things that I love. So I feel like I make them happy and they make me happy. So there's like symbiosis. Do you say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I create these relationships that I feel like I'm giving something to the person and they give me something else in return. But it's so fulfilling and makes me so happy. And then we can just share our ideas. I love when I can have the opportunity to find someone that I really click with, especially creatively.
Yes.
And we can sit down and have this big like brainstorming, and we after half an hour we're just like, oh my god, I can't believe we just invented all of these little things. And you just feel so powerful and motivated for the rest of your day.
Yeah.
And that can inspire you in so many ways depending on what you're doing. And I've been meeting a lot of people that make me feel like that every time I travel, every time I connect, and that really drives me.
Yeah.
And
good answer.
Yeah, makes me excited to do more.
Cool. Oh, that's fucking epic. What's being in love like?
Oof, I love this question. So, it's been really interesting. I feel like I could chat about this for hours.
Good. Please, long form.
But I think when you're in love, I feel like you learn so much from the other person. I feel like relationships happen because it's two people who are committed to get to know each other and learn with each other. And while you're with that person, you start to understand like your own qualities, but also your
downfalls.
Yeah. And I don't know if how to explain this, but when you're with someone that really clicks, like you just grow up so much, like every single day. And sometimes it's also learning how to be vulnerable I think, because a lot of people struggle with that, myself as well.
I have trouble with that.
Like
I have
it's
so much
so
trouble with that.
normal.
Yeah.
But it just you're not used to it of opening up, and I think that's such a beautiful side of relationships, that you can express what you feel and just like express like your secrets, your insecurities, but you know you can be your true self with that person. Sometimes you don't agree.
Yeah.
That will happen. Like even me and Jill, like sometimes we don't agree, and then but it's also like knowing that you can give the person the space that she needs to, and step back and reflect a lot, and then go back again to it and confront ideas, and that's such a beautiful, like, important process. Yeah, it's also trusting.
Yeah.
Because and big one, like you learn how to understand that you're so important. I think you start to realize your self-worth. This is such a cliche, but it's so true. I love cliches for that. And the person starts to treat you, if it's a good person for you, you can start to feel like your value, and then it's like a reciprocate like situation where you feel good about yourself and how this person is treating you, and then you want to give that back. And so like you feel so empowered. Like that's beautiful to me.
Oh, cute. And would you say love is more of a feeling or a choice?
I love this question. Okay, so this is a really cool question, because I feel like I have a really emotional, like, flowy side, but I also have like my rational side, and everyone probably is the same, more people towards one side or the other. But I think like in relationships there's a lot about being a bit rational with things and how you make your choices, because some people, they can have a lot that makes you feel like you're on fire, and that's such a good feeling, and you feel like you're so like in this big, like, intense energy. But everything that is intense, it's not necessarily good for you or balanced. And I agree that good for you, it's related with balance. So you can be emotional, and you can have someone that makes you feel like so nice, but you need to have a bit of a rational side, on your head, that tells you, okay, this person makes me feel this, and that, but then, okay, what's here that sometimes maybe might not be the best for me? Because some people have a lot of the good part, but then they also have other things that make us feel like incomplete. And I feel like when someone is for you, this person makes you feel complete. So it's not just one good thing or one or two good things, but then there's like this emptiness, you know? Yeah, I love fire so much, but then I realized that most of the relationships that I had that made me feel so fiery and intense, they were very intense for the good side, but not but also super intense for the bad side. So I feel like you have to be a bit rational, and you have to make choices. Sometimes you have to choose the person that you have to step back and see things like in an overall perspective, and see like on a long-term perspective, how am I going to feel about this?
So true. So sometimes it's a choice, sometimes it's a feeling.
I think there's feeling and choice, and there's intuition, in my opinion, as well. And things are way clearer than I think most people think they are, because you will make that choice way more easily if things are meant to be. When you feel like there's something wrong, probably there's something wrong.
That's true. Scary shit. Dating.
It is so scary, hey?
Do you create from both places of pain and joy?
I believe like everyone has their own creative process. My rational side tells me to create out of joy. Because I could create out of sadness, but I think I would get in this system, like a healthy system, that I would try to... I would give power to my sadness. And so I would like... Naturally, I would put myself towards living like sad situations, or I would give more voice to those sad situations, and so I could create with that.
Yeah.
You create like this codependence on
Yeah.
your like vulnerability, but like in a negative way.
Yes, I've done that a lot.
Yeah, it's so like a lot of people.
The struggling artist kind of
The
vibe.
struggling artist.
Yeah.
So I prefer to choose, if I can, because
Yeah.
sometimes you just can't.
Yeah.
But I prefer to choose my happy side, because
Yeah.
I love myself when I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
And I feel so empowered. And I think I choose feeling like powerful. I love my confidence, powerful self. I feel like I love the idea of like just feeling like I can do whatever I want. And I realized that the more I go towards happiness, the more I feel like that. And maybe I can be really creative if I go to sadness, but then that's not the person I want to show to others.
No.
So I'm not pro like, oh, everyone should be happy all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of an unrealistic kind of conversation. But if I have to choose to expose myself in any way, because that's what art is meant for, is to show people your feelings, who you are, what you're doing, I would choose happiness. Yeah, 100%.
No, that's cool. That's a really cool answer. And what's a career high that you've had? Like a moment in your career where you were like, holy shit, this is pretty cool. I'm working with them, or wow, I'm really proud of myself for this.
I think I've been pretty happy about my accomplishments. I feel because I work in like different roles. I've done styling, modeling, also a bit of creative direction, and makeup also has been such a big thing for me. I think like last one would be the Vogue collaboration.
Sick.
Because I felt that I could combine all of these things that I love.
Yeah.
And that was such a great opportunity. And I felt like the set was all mine.
Sick.
Because I did a lot of work as well, like assisting.
Yeah.
And when you work with other people, you learn so much. But sometimes your job is really about like get things done, and you don't have so much opportunity about exploring your own ideas.
Yeah.
So that this time it was such a great challenge, because they gave me a theme, and then I could create 5 outfits with whatever I wanted.
So cool.
And it was such a great experience, and I could create all these outfits with the brands I like to work with. So it was great to combine like people that I'm excited to work with as well, because it's creativity is really about as well like combining forces. Like you have different people working in different departments, or like imagine you have someone who has the brand, or someone who has like, you combine all the resources. Yeah, everyone is working for the same goal, and everyone gets really happy.
Yeah, cute. And what's a personal high in your life?
Personal high. Honestly, I think the whole experience that I'm living now, I'm truly 100% happy. I've probably never been this happy. On a personal level, on like a professional level. And I believe that the more I grow, the more I get older, I put this in my head that I want to be happy and happy and happy. So I'm always going to work towards that never-ending goal, which is constantly being happy, which is sometimes not possible, because we all have like ups and downs, obviously. And I believe that when you have something really good, life balances it again and puts you a bit of a low, a bit of a cycle that we have to flow with.
Nice.
But I'm really excited about the present, and I feel like life, it's sometimes I still have so many goals I want to accomplish, obviously, but I'm realizing so many things in this period of my life, and I'm understanding that, because before I think I was so afraid of going to all that I wanted to make, because imagine I had this bold idea or this like project in my head that I was like, oh, I really would like to do that. I would be so scared because I would see this big idea that was, I thought, this is probably too much. I would just step back. And now I realize that all these big ideas are made by little decisions that you make.
Yeah.
So imagine, for example, creating this big project. You wake up every day, you take one decision towards that project.
Yeah.
So every day you have a new experience that makes you feel like you're closer and closer to that big goal. So it's not that scary anymore.
It's not that scary. You just have to put in the work.
Yeah, and like it becomes more real. And sometimes I have so many questions. I'm like, okay, what should I do? How do I start? And the more like realistic things become, the easier it is to make choices as well. So yeah, it's really worth it.
No, it's so true. It's inspiring to hear and makes me want to
go for
chip away at some other things. So many ideas.
For sure.
Do you find that you're in your head more or your heart more?
My head.
In your head, nice. She's a go-getter.
Yeah, I think, do you know what we talk about a lot, about being more in your masculine or your feminine?
Yeah.
I understood that I really like to be in my masculine a bit.
Yeah.
Because that gives me a lot of the drive to
get it done.
Get it done.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes I feel like for girls especially, when you get in a relationship, you get a lot in your feminine. I moved here, I was so in my feminine, and I was loving it because you just flow through everything. Now I feel like I'm changing a little bit and trying to be a bit more in my masculine.
Yeah.
Because there was a phase as well, maybe 2 years ago, I was super in my masculine, as you were saying, not feeling anything.
Yeah.
That's not good as well.
No.
It made me like a person that I don't want to be anymore. So
you've got to be able to balance them.
Balance completely.
Yeah. And do you have any tips for cultivating confidence?
Funny story. I was so not confident.
Fully.
I feel like most people, when they're growing up, they're not really confident.
It's true.
So it's something for sure you need to learn how to build. I think we're humans. So if I learned something that it's, if you have to feel something, just feel it.
Yeah.
Let it pass and then move on. So if you are actually in this environment with people that surround you that are not good for you, or they're making you feel small, that's no way you're gonna pretend you're confident.
Yeah.
So it's really about like choosing where you want to be, first of all, who you want to be surrounded by, and with time. Sometimes we also need to think that things take time, and more time than we think they do.
Yeah.
So I probably, when I was 15, I wanted to be the person that I am right now.
Yeah.
And I was so in my head of like, why am I not so confident yet? But if you have that idea in your head, I'm so sure it'll happen, because you end up doing the choices that you need to get there.
Yeah.
I think sometimes accepting how things are, because if you don't accept, if you don't feel what you have to feel, things will never pass, and you will just like looping.
Yeah, it's true. I've spent so many years looping. Last year was just a whole loop. I look back on it and I'm like, oh, I did some good work, but I look back and go, wow, I looped so many emotions. Hamster wheel.
And I think looping is making things like complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's really about like, imagine you're stepping out of your head and you're telling yourself, like your friend, for example, like this is such a, I don't know, I've heard this and I'm like, I don't know if I believe that, but imagine you're your friend, like what would you say to that person?
Yeah.
So you need to step out of your head and see the bigger picture, and then you realize that you need to make different choices, or not put so much value and not develop that idea of negativity in your head so much.
Yeah.
And look for solutions and options.
Yeah.
And if, for example, if you don't know how to do things, because sometimes people don't have the tools.
Yeah.
That's so fair. Like find one person. You probably just need one person to give you advice, one good friend.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah. Is self-care important to you?
Yeah. I was like, is it? Should I go out every day? Yeah, honestly, I think it's so important because self-care, I'm not talking about like putting that face mask on your face. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what makes you happy, go for
Yeah.
it. But I feel like in an overall, like understanding that the way that you wake up and the way that you go out and how you present yourself to people will influence things. Not for people, but if you take care of yourself, you will automatically feel more confident.
Yeah.
I see things very strategically sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, because if you do that, you're gonna
Yeah,
get that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes people don't wanna get anything.
I know.
People just wanna cheat.
It's true.
But
It's true.
I feel like if you take care of yourself, you'll probably feel better about yourself, and whatever you're going through will be simpler, easier to go through.
Yeah.
And your relationships with people will be better. You will expand more
Yeah.
good energy, positive energy to the world. Little things like if you probably go to sleep a bit earlier, you will wake up a bit more happy, not so depressed, not so many times just doing nothing, scrolling on TikTok, which we all do. Because sometimes it's good to just like be in bed and don't do anything, but you can have options.
Yeah.
You can have control over your life.
Yeah. That's mad. I love. And do you think, in terms of romantic relationships, you attract your mirror?
I think I attract my. I was completely 100% sure I would only attract my opposite.
Yeah.
But now I realize that the person that I love the most probably has a lot of who I am as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of things that I want to get better at,
Yeah.
he has them figured out
Yeah.
probably. Or
That's cool.
he's better in things that I'm not so good yet. But probably I have something as well
Yeah, that he could learn on.
that he could learn on.
For sure.
So yeah, again, that like kind of balance.
Yeah.
But I feel like the opposite person can be really exciting.
Oh, I love the idea of fully opposites as well.
Yeah, I feel like it can be like 100% an adventure.
For sure. So true.
A lot of girls, for example, the I want to fix him kind of energy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I think maybe I was a lot like that when I was younger. But I feel like, yeah, going for your opposite can be a bit challenging because I feel like you have to have something in common.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna have to like make similar, like if you make decisions, you guys are gonna have to like agree in a lot of the things.
For sure.
But I get so much joy out of like understanding how other people see life as well, and then I end up like blending a little bit with those new ways of living.
Yeah.
And that's how you discover yourself, because now you can see how things are done in a different way, and then you can choose what to do for yourself.
So true. No, I used to think that I'd always want to be with someone really similar to me. I was like, God, I'd be keen to date myself.
Yeah, I'm so curious. And how do you think about this?
So funny. But then I met this dude in the surf, and we had a few dates, and we were just so similar to the point where all of the negatives were super similar. So I'm seeing all this stuff in this guy, and I'm like, fuck, this guy is so negative. And then I was at a really negative place in my life. So I ended it with him, and then I was like, all right, now I have to go work on all the things that I didn't like in him because they're all alive in me.
I love that.
So good. And then after him, it was like a really positive guy. And then after that, it was like another positive guy. But yeah, it's just such a funny reflection. It's such a funny reflection.
That is a really good perspective.
Yeah.
What? I never thought about it.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, that you attract whoever you are kind of in line with energetically at that time. And
I agree.
I look at you and Gel, and I'm like, perfect.
Yeah,
like,
I believe...
It's just so spot on.
Oh.
So spot on.
I believe the more you grow, the more like aligned with your choices you are.
Yeah.
So now the person that I'm with is so like, as you said, like we're so aligned. And we complement each other as well. Do you know what I mean? Like being with someone that is way more fiery, but that has so much stuff that you as well need to work on.
For sure.
When you are in a situation like that, I think that you can really see your darker side.
Right.
So, and if you have the power to understand that you're mirroring each other.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people
They don't even realize.
They don't even realize. It's really like a learning experience because you can see the similarities, and it's happened to you. Like you just
So
move
true.
on from it.
So true.
And maybe it happens with the other person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder. It's like I'm sort of hanging out with this guy at the moment, and he brought up something that I do. He's like, "Oh, you do that?" Like in the softest way, but it made me laugh because he does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just so funny. I'm like, it's not something that I hate about myself. It's just something that I'll tweak a little bit.
Yeah. No, but honestly, I think like it will probably click with him as well. I think that's part of the process of starting to click and to understand.
That's it.
Wait, maybe we're aligned here.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about the bright sides to social media and expression and sharing, and the dark sides to it as well. So what do you find to be the most positive sides of sharing parts of yourself on socials?
I feel like social media, it's a brilliant tool because you can get connected to like so many things, and you can create a community out of it and relate with so many people that enjoy your work, and then you also enjoy their work.
Yeah.
But you can put social media in like a more professional kind of level, or you're just doing it for fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think I love social media because I can explore so many things, and I'm really into like more and more now. I want to grab all these things that I love, like fashion, clothing, and then social media opens opportunities for you to, for example, get brands to work with you, or depends on whatever field you are. But yeah, it opens so many doors, like even with modeling. But I feel like a lot of people, they're not even into any of that. You don't have to like be a model to connect with social media. Yeah, obviously it's a very addictive platform, so obviously there's going to be negative sides to it. But I think it's really a good opportunity to explore so many things. I think like you have to choose if you want to see it in like a more personal way and like just post whatever you want, or you can connect that, for example, if you have a business, or if you want to become a content creator. There's so many good positive ways that you can use social media for. I feel like also if you choose to use social media in a professional way, you need to understand like you're working as a freelancer. So if you're working as a freelancer, you need to have a structure, and you need to organize and prepare work. And if you don't create like this healthy routine around it, you might get really lost. You get a lot of anxiety because you're always comparing yourself with other people, which naturally can happen. And so you have to establish your goals and follow it. But sometimes I feel like I discover so many interesting people through social media. For example, the other day I found this interior designer, and she was showing like how she decorated her house, and she's also a fashion designer.
Sick.
So she basically uses everything that she does with fashion designer. Like she creates like her fabrics with different patterns, and she draws everything for the fabrics. And then she was showing how she used that to decorate her house. And then, for example, now because she's sharing so much of her work, different brands, for example, a ceramic brand, got in contact with her to create ceramics with her drawings. So you just, with social media, you have this opportunity to become this persona that can be a creative and share your work and ideas in so many different ways, which is exactly what I'm looking forward right now.
It's just opportunity after opportunity, really, if you're actioning and sharing. Well, that's great, sis. Thank you so much for your time, little angel.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. You did so well.